Hey guys, today's another episode where I just kind of have a chat and tell you guys what I'm reading and what I'm watching, and I drop you some updates. I like these episodes, they're kind of informal, and I just feel like I can just kind of tell you what I'm up to. Okay, let's go. The background of this particular episode is in Luxembourg City, in the very small country of Luxembourg. When I was there, I took this picture. I had basically been without a backpack for 2 days. The airport lost my backpack. Okay, I'll give you some personal updates. For those of you who don't know, I live in New Hampshire, and right now it's winter. It's cold, it's snowy. This is typically the best season for me when it comes to writing production. I've been plowing through my first draft of a new book, which is an urban fantasy novel. I'm maybe 30% done. My writing group is giving me some great advice, and I've been making some good breakthroughs with the story. So if you've been following along with Writing Escapades, you'll see that I've been narrating my published short stories for you guys. And this is something that I intend to keep doing in the future. So I've been writing new short stories for this very purpose. I'm really digging this stuff, and I'm glad I get to be creative with this channel. At some point, I want to have the guys in my writing group come on to Writing Escapades. So whether that means I record a feedback session from Zoom, or if I have them narrate their own short stories, I'm still thinking that part out. But since these writing sessions are talking about what we're working on, I'll have to kind of edit it out to avoid giving you guys spoilers for my stuff or for their stuff. So I've been sticking to doing 2 episodes of Writing Escapades a month. And I think I want to keep that up, but I might be able to pump out a couple extra episodes here and there. So be on the lookout for that. As of now, when I'm recording this, I've been doing some fun stuff on Instagram. I just did a signed book giveaway, which was fun. I got to use that little like randomizer app and put everybody's names in and spin it, and one lucky winner won 2 signed books. So that was fun. One thing I like to do is I'll usually do a beach cleanup. I did one this last month and dedicated 3 minutes of cleanup for anyone that subscribed to the YouTube channel. So I dedicated some cleanup, took a little short video, thanked them, and showed them what I picked up in their honor. That's definitely something I'd like to keep doing and maybe do it more in the future. So just kind of gives you a benefit for subscribing and keeps our oceans cleaner. That's kind of the fun part. For me, all of this stuff, I like to engage. I like getting feedback, and I like talking to you guys and learning more about you guys. And social media can be good and it can be bad, but a lot of times these little communities on Instagram or wherever you find them, if you're in that kind of little community, it's really nice. The people tend to be pretty nice, and they want to connect, and you want to connect with them, and it's a good thing. It's a good positive thing, and I think nowadays people could do with a lot more human connection. So that's the kind of stuff I do on my Instagram. I do those beach cleanups every couple months. I do giveaways. I kind of try to have fun interaction and just make some funny, goofy videos. You know, I'm not a very serious person. I try not to be serious. You know, life's too short. Why stress out and be all stiff and rigid? You know, I'm a goofball, and I just embrace that. Okay, let's talk about books and shows. Nowadays, I do more audiobooks than actual books, much to the chagrin of my full tote packed with my to be read stacks. I have a bad habit of buying books when there are still so many left to read. And yet, I'm still rereading the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. I finished the audiobook for book 2 of the series, The Great Hunt, which is really, it's a great book. There's lots of action, there's lots of world building. I feel like we get a good taste of the Shan Chen and lots of use of the waygates, which are really cool. Kind of reflecting on this series, which I'm rereading, I think Tom Marilyn, who is a Gleeman, and Loyal, who is an Ogier. They have to be my two favorite characters. They're unique and they're overflowing with personality, and it's they're just enjoyable. I'm about halfway through The Dragon Reborn. It's great. I love the covers of these books as well. They're like super stunning and iconic. Sometimes I pick up on stuff that I didn't get the first time I read it. And I don't know, there's a nostalgia factor that I think a lot of people enjoy. That's why we reread any of this stuff. We love these characters and they're timeless, and it's fun. I listened to a nonfiction audiobook, which is kind of rare for me. This one was Hope, and it was narrated by Jane Goodall, who, as we all know, is just a fascinating woman. And her voice is very comforting. I don't read a ton of nonfiction, but as usual, I tend to go with memoirs narrated by the authors. The people tend to be interesting in some way or another. And I guess I was looking for a little hope in these tumultuous times that we live in. I also read Red Rising, which is by Pierce Brown. It's a cool science fiction type of series, which kind of has like a Hunger Games feel to me. One thing I think that writers should look to do in their world building and in their epic fantasy sci-fi kind of series is to have repeated lines, like these traditional lines. And I think with Red Rising, one line that comes to mind is, "I'm a helldiver of Lycos." The point of view, the first person point of view character says this a lot, and it really kind of brings home the fact that the characters actually live in these places. They're from these places. And that grounds the reader in these science fiction stories and these fantasy stories. Things I can think about is in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, you'll often hear the characters say, blood and ashes. And in the Joe Abercrombie's stories, you'll hear them say back to the mud. And these sorts of repetitive lines, they really bring the reader and they ground the reader to the story, in that these characters are living. Even before you read the first word, you understand that the characters are living in a world where they're aware of these terms. They have these traditions and these passed down lines that their society keeps circulating. You're catching up as a reader into this story that has been going on. It's not as if your characters are all robots who, before you open page one, they're all lined up, their eyes are closed, and then you open the book and their eyes open and story starts. That's not how it goes. If you write a novel, if you write a book, a series, you want to make the reader and the audience feel like they're kind of on a train and they're starting to see this world. They're starting to open up this world that has already been going on longer than page one. Right now I'm listening to After the Flood by Cassandra Montag. It kind of reminds me of the movie Waterworld and Cormac McCarthy's The Road. It's got that post-apocalyptic kind of feel. There's bandits, there's raiders, water's everywhere. It's risen up, and they're paddling over mountains. Pretty interesting. I'm also steadily working my way through Harry Potter, the series. I have to be probably the last person in the world who hasn't read these books. I watched the movies and I've gone back and I've been doing the books. Right now I'm on the Order of the Phoenix. It's actually pretty amazing about how close the books and the movies are. I think they did a good job. I'm also rewatching the show Rome. This show is really underrated, I think. It's kind of like Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones. It's kind of got that real dark, grim, gritty world. And the thing I like about it is that the sets look like they're lived in. There's like straw and there's like dirt and grime and blood stains and there's violence in this story, and there's also really good drama, and there's human truths embedded. The acting is just great too. I think they did a great job. when I was a kid, I was big into comic books. One of the things I used to do is get a comic book every weekend. And, it's a cheap thrill. So, comics back then, even now, are still only a couple bucks, which is great. So of course, I've loved all these Marvel adaptations, and I just watched Hawkeye, which was really good. I think they did a good job. Hawkeye is just one of those very human heroes where he gets bruises and he doesn't have a ton of superpowers, but he is just kind of a leader, and he kind of brings out the best in people. So yeah, I've been reading some new stuff. I've been rereading some old stuff. Been rewatching some old stuff, and um, yeah, I mean, reading and shows are just an escape for me, so I enjoy it. And if you guys enjoy any of these kind of shows and books, let me know too in the comments. I'd be interested to know if you're reading or watching any of these things. So if you guys like what you heard today or in any of my episodes, don't be shy to drop a like, add a comment. And as always, I have two books. I have Taking on Water, which is my first book. It's a crime novel set in New Hampshire. And I also have Redemption Grove, which is an Alaska suspense novel. Both of these books are available online on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, anywhere online where books are sold. Links in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you later, guys.